Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and welcome to my super duper live stream live on YouTube right now. And it is Thursday afternoon, just after 3:15 Paris time. Yes, I am still in Paris. I am now having my third full day here in the most romantic city in the world, apparently. We are in Paris, and I am now live, standing on a street corner. And as you can see, it's very busy around here at the moment. Lots of things going on, lots of traffic, lots of people, because this week it is a public holiday here in France. So lots of people are actually off from work. And I am here now standing on a street corner looking very suspicious as the people of Paris walk by, and they are staring at me. They are wondering, what is that crazy Englishman doing? Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Are you? I hope so. Here we go then. It is a super duper Thursday. I am now live on a street corner in Paris, just to prove to you that we are actually live. It is now 20 minutes past 3 on a Thursday afternoon, Paris time. Ooh. So I'm live on a street corner. Don't ask me what the corner is, because I have no idea what the street corner is. I think the street I am on, I want to say Port de Tourne, I think, maybe. So behind me you can see the hustle and bustle. You can hear it and see it as well. Lots of things going on behind me, lots of traffic, lots of people walking by, some people riding bicycles, bicyclettes, by the way, bicyclette. If you say bicyclette, it means bicycle in French. Ooh, look at that. I've only been here for 3 days and already I am picking up the French language. What do you think about that then? So I hope you are having a good day. I have had a super week here in Paris, and I still have 2 more days to go. So I will be here for another 2 days. Can you believe it? I have to say, I have eaten some amazing food over the past few days. We went to this beautiful restaurant today that is situated on the Champs-Élysées, and it's one of the nicest restaurants in Paris. It is one of the top-rated restaurants in Paris, and we ate there, and I had the most amazing food. Gorgeous. Today I ate, for the first time, I ate some raw fish, raw tuna. I've never eaten raw fish before, so today I did that for the first time. I ate some raw fish, and we went to a big party, a big ceremony last night, because the reason why I'm here in Paris is not because of me, but because of Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve has been very busy this week doing all sorts of things. So I have come as a guest of Mr. Steve's company. Can you believe it? So everything that's happening is actually free. It's not costing anything. So as you can see, I am now standing in the center of Paris, and I have to say it's very busy at the moment. A lot of people all over the place, because here at the moment it is the special post after Easter holiday. I thought that bus was going to hit me then. I thought the bus was going to run into me. I was a bit worried. So you can see behind me a very typical French scene. You can see in the distance there is a beautiful restaurant with lots of chairs outside, lots of roads, people riding bicycles, and you might also see lots of buses as well. Ooh, that was a very long bus. Did you see that bus? It was so long. I think that was my mother on her motorbike. So, lots of things to talk about today. Oh my goodness, I am having such an amazing time here in Paris. I have never been to Paris before, so this is my first ever time here in the capital city of France. I'm having a super time. Shall we say hello to the live chat, because I don't want to ignore you. Let's see who is here on the live chat. Hello very much to, oh hello Khyber. Oh yes, I'm still there. Thank goodness for that. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened then. I lost the stream for a moment. Hello to Khyber. Hello Khyber. Hello to you. Pasquale. Hello to you as well. Also Emma Hang Dwong is here as well. Also Sravan. Hello. Bonjour Sravan. Bonjour to you. Welcome to the most romantic city in the world. Ooh, apparently. That's what they say. They say that Paris is a very romantic place. I must be honest with you. No one has come up to me and asked me to give them a kiss yet. So I'm not sure if this is a very romantic place. However, it is a very good place to come to if you like food. And as you know, I love food very much. Hello, Mr. Duncan from Burlop. Hello, Burlop. Nice to see you here today as well. Bonjour from Sravan once more. Wilson. Hello, Wilson Alonso. Hello to you. Also to Emma. Hello, Emma. Bonjour. Do I speak French? I only speak a little French. But when I was at school, can I tell you a story? When I was at school, I was very good at French. I could speak French very well. Hello, sir. Kishore, thank you very much for that, for your greetings. Hello there, Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve. I hope you two have an amazing time in Paris. I am very happy for you. Thank you, Sweetness Mitra. Thank you very much. If you are watching at the moment in Paris, can you say hello? And we might actually go for a cup of coffee together, if you would like. Look, there is a cafe right behind me. There is a restaurant and cafe just behind me. So there is a beautiful place to eat right there. Yesterday, Mr. Steve and myself, we went to a lovely place called Montmartre, which is a lovely old church on a hilltop. And from the top of there, you can see right across Paris. Absolutely beautiful, a lovely view across the Paris landscape. It is very nice. I am getting some very strange looks from people wondering what I'm doing. I am standing on a street corner talking to a lamppost. That's what it looks like anyway. Oh, hello. Oh, I think that was my uncle. Oh, hello uncle. That was my uncle. My uncle, he drives a lorry in his spare time. Hello Mr. Duncan, how is your holiday? Thank you, Franco. Hello Franco, are you French? Len Hond says hello from Vietnam. Oh, hello to Vietnam. Nice to see you here. And also, yes, Mr. Duncan, that is a lovely place. Please enjoy. A lot of people asking where Mr. Steve is. Mr. Steve? Sadly, at the moment, Mr. Steve is not here. He is doing some work this afternoon. So I have some free time, some time to myself. And I thought, what could be better than spending some time with you on a street corner in Paris? So that is what I'm doing at the moment. So I hope you're having a good time. I haven't really got anything planned because I wasn't going to do this. So this is all very unexpected. But I do hope you are enjoying my special live streams from Paris. It is something a little different. I don't normally do this. I don't normally stand on street corners surrounded by people. Mr. Duncan and Mr. Steve, I think you are on Boulevard Haussmann. Oh, really? Thank you, Louis. Hello, bonjour to Louis. Yes, we are still in Paris and we are still alive. Oh, look, did you see that? Did you see the scooter go by? There are lots of these little scooters in Paris and they are electric. They are powered by electricity. Thank you, Lewis. Lewis says you are on Boulevard Haussmann. It isn't very far from the Champs-Élysées. I am very close to the Champs-Élysées and also the Arc de Triomphe. So I'm very close to lots of famous landmarks. Did you see the live stream on Tuesday? Mr. Steve and myself, we walked all the way to the Eiffel Tower, even though it was very windy and very dusty. And there were thousands and thousands of people there. Sweetness says, I absolutely enjoy this great live stream. Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me all right, because it is so busy here in the centre of Paris at the moment. Bonjour. Bonjour. Did you see that? Somebody just waved to me. Isn't that nice? So we are now broadcasting live across YouTube. I am not very far away from the hotel that I'm staying at. I'm also on a very busy junction. Can you see behind me? There are lots of cars going by. Lots of very lovely cars. Mr. Steve is having a great time here at the moment in Paris because there are lots of very nice cars on the road. And can you believe it? When we were collected from the airport, we were actually greeted by a limousine. So we took a limousine all the way from Charles de Gaulle Airport to the hotel. And it was a very nice car, very beautiful car. Mr. Steve got quite excited. It was actually an S-Class Mercedes. And Steve loves cars very much, as you know. So an S-Class Mercedes is one of the top of the range. It is the most amazing car in the Mercedes range. So quite nice, really. So I hope you are enjoying my live stream today. I'm live on the corner of a road in Paris, on a boulevard. I think I'm on a boulevard or a rue des. I think that's what they normally say, rue des, which means road of. So where else have we been? We went to a beautiful place yesterday called Montmartre, which is the mountain of the martyrs. We will talk more about that on Sunday. Where is this place? The place I am in at the moment is Paris. I am broadcasting to you live from the centre of Paris. It is now just after 3:30. 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon, Paris time. Does the crossroad have traffic lights? Yes, it does. But the traffic lights are very strange. So let me just show you the traffic lights. There you go. Can you see the traffic lights? So there you can see the traffic lights just behind me. It is very windy today. It is also very windy here in Paris. I almost lost my camera then. So there is the traffic lights. You can see the traffic lights just behind me as my camera blows away. Hello, Mr. Duncan. What a beautiful surprise. Thank you, Pedro. I am trying to do a live stream from the centre of Paris, but the problem is it is very windy today. Very windy indeed. So there you can see, let me just move the camera. So now you can see the crossing, and yes, there are traffic lights on the corner. Let me also show you another sign. I'm going to try and move the camera now, so please bear with me whilst I move the camera so we can have another view, a different view. This is not easy, by the way. There we go. So you can see some traditional signs, some traditional Paris signs. So there. Can you see them? Portrait Malot and Palais des Congrès or Congrès. So I hope that helps you if you are wondering where I am now in Paris. Am I still broadcasting to you? Can you still see me? I hope so. Unfortunately, earlier the wind was blowing so strongly it nearly blew my camera away. So I do have to be very careful. So let's just go over here. I will show you one of the scooters. So here we go. Can you see behind me? There. So there you can see one of the scooters. And these are all over Paris. So as you walk around Paris, you will see these scooters everywhere around Paris. This is a scooter, but there are hundreds of them all around Paris. And what you do is you buy a little token. You can use it on your mobile phone, and then you put your phone by the scooter, and then it will give you so many minutes of use, and you can ride it around Paris. It's incredible. So there it is. What a brilliant idea. Some people might say that that is very environmentally friendly, and I would agree. I think it is. It's very amazing, in fact. If you've just joined me and you are wondering what the hell you are watching, this is live English in your ear, live from a street corner in Paris. I'm not joking. I am now talking to you live from Paris, and this feels very strange. I must be honest. Very strange indeed. I will show you now something very typically French. Here we go. Something very French for you to look at. Yes, there you go. There we go. Can you see it now? So there is one of those French billboards. You will often see these in old movies or French movies. So you can see there is a billboard. Look at that. Billboard. And normally they have lots of posters or advertisements, quite often for movies or entertainment, lots of things that are going on around the city. Hello Louis, yes I am not far away from the Arc de Triomphe, very near. So I think Louis knows where I am. So if you are watching at the moment in Paris, can you please say, hello Mr. Duncan, bonjour and welcome to Gay Paris. Yes, it's lovely. I am having a super time here. I must be honest with you. I have eaten so much food. Paris food and French food in general is very good. Oh, I must say I am loving the food, and I think when I leave here, I think I am going to miss the food very much. Oh, did you hear that? There is another thing I've noticed here in Paris. The roads are a little bit crazy. The traffic is incredible. And there seems to be no rules on the road. It seems that you can just do anything on the road. And many of the roads don't even have lines down the middle. So quite often on roads you will see white lines. But here there are no white lines on the roads. So it would appear that the rules of the roads here in Paris are very relaxed. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, who knows? Have you tried baguette? I have eaten a lot of French bread since arriving here. They will give you bread with everything here. So if you want food, if you don't want food, if you don't want anything, they will always give you bread here. So I have eaten a lot of delicious bread, also a lot of delicious food, some beautiful meals. I had some gorgeous food last night that I will tell you all about on Sunday. Don't forget we are live here on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. Mr. Steve and myself, we will be back. We will be back in the UK for Sunday afternoon. So we will be with you live. Where is Mr. Steve? He is at the moment doing some work. He is giving a very important speech. That's all I'm saying. I can't say too much about it, unfortunately. So the reason why I'm here in Paris is because Steve is doing something with work. And Mr. Steve's company said I can come as well. So here I am in Paris, and it's cost me nothing. I can't believe it. Even I can't believe it. Let's go back over to the road, if I can. I will try to cross the road without being hit by a car. Oh, by the way, you can see the traffic lights now. There you go. So now you can you see the traffic lights there? So there are traffic lights controlling the traffic. So at the moment the traffic light is on green, now it is on amber, and now it is on red. Green, amber, red. The one thing I've noticed is when you cross the road you don't have much time. They don't give you much time to cross the road. So most people run across the roads when they have to cross over, because the traffic lights don't give you much time to actually cross. And that's one of the reasons why I am not going to try and cross the road during my live stream, just in case a car hits me. There are some delays in your voice. Maybe it might be your connection. It might be your connection. So if there is a problem with the sound, it might be because of your connection. Is that better? That might be better. Hello, Mr. Duncan. It's a pleasure to see and listen to you in Paris. This is Stefano from the city of violins in Italy, Cremona or Ceramona. Nice to see you. I'm having difficulty reading the live chat. Did you visit somewhere this morning? This morning we went for a beautiful meal. We went for this lovely meal at a very exclusive place on the Champs-Élysées, and we ate some gorgeous food. I had some a chocolate cake this morning, and it was absolutely delicious. It was so nice. Let's go a bit further, shall we? Oh, now it's working okay. Oh, thank you very much. How are you, Mr. Duncan? I've been a huge fan of you for 8 years. Thank you, Travel. Thank you, Arif. Lots of respect from Pakistan. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing technology? We can just stand here on a street corner in Paris and talk live across the internet. It's incredible. It really is. It's amazing. Let's move over here. I'm just going to change the view slightly before I get too much attention. Okay, I think that's better. Another thing that Paris is very famous for is the architecture, of course. Look at the beautiful buildings. Oh, yes. Another thing that Paris is very famous for is its architecture. There are some absolutely gorgeous buildings here, and there you can see in the distance, you can see a very good example of some Parisian townhouses that have been kept in very good condition. Aren't they beautiful? And you can see many of the windows. Can you see the windows? They have lots of little balconies, so you can stand outside your window and watch the Parisian traffic go by. When we say Parisian, Parisian refers to the things related to Paris. So maybe the people who live in Paris are described as Parisians. Something that occurs or belongs in Paris is Parisian. A Parisian road, a Parisian building, a Parisian person. So there are many Parisians walking by. Maturza, hello Maturza, I have recently subscribed to you. Thank you very much. Apparently Louis says you are in the 17th district of the city, the 17th district. Well, that sounds very interesting. Thank you for telling me that. The other thing I've noticed, on the Champs-Élysées, there are loads of shops. There are so many shops on the Champs-Élysées. Huge shops. And there is one shop that I saw this morning, a shop that is very well known around the world. It is a designer shop, a shop that sells designer clothing, designer handbags, and the name is Louis Vuitton. Have you heard of Louis Vuitton? Louis Vuitton is very famous here in Paris and also around the world as well. And there is a big Louis Vuitton shop. But can you believe it? You have to wait outside before you can go in. It's true. So you have to stand outside in the street and then only a few people can go inside. So maybe they will only allow maybe 7 or 8 people to go inside the shop. And I saw this morning. There were people outside waiting for their turn to go into the Louis Vuitton shop. I've never seen that before, not even in London. So I don't think even in London there is a shop that you have to wait outside to be invited into. So I was very shocked by that. If you are wondering where the subtitles are on my last live stream on Tuesday, I can't do it here because I can't actually have access to that feature on my mobile phone. So you are now watching me, you are actually watching me on my mobile phone. Can you believe it? Isn't technology amazing? I love it so much. I really do like technology. We're going to move again. Mr. Duncan, will you visit the Louvre Museum? We might go there tomorrow. We are going to a couple of places tomorrow, Mr. Steve and myself, because we have a free day. So tomorrow, Steve and I will have a completely free day. Did you buy anything from the shops? Well, the one thing I've noticed is some particular things are very expensive in the shops. So I haven't spent much money yet. And of course here in France, they use the euro. So euro is the French, or should I say the European money. So when you say euro, it is the money that is used in Europe. Whereas in England we use the pound. What did you buy first? Yesterday I bought a toothbrush. I forgot to bring my toothbrush with me. So yesterday I bought a toothbrush and it cost me €6. €6. Can you believe it? A few hellos on the live chat. Vanildo. Hello Vanildo. Vanildo says, I am watching from Brazil. Hello Brazil. Hi. Bonjour to you all. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, the only problem today is it's very windy here. Yesterday was lovely, but today, unfortunately, it is very windy. So I'm going to try and find a nice place to shelter from the wind, because it is so windy. It is very windy. Maybe that is better. It is very windy here in Paris today. I am now in a nice little corner. If you just joined me, it's Mr. Duncan. I'm now live on YouTube talking to you, and it is, what time is it? It is 10 minutes to 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, and you are watching Mr. Duncan's English in your ear live in Paris. Mohammed says, I like Paris. Yes, it is a very nice city, very big. And the other thing I've noticed at the moment is there is a lot of renovation taking place, a lot of renovation work taking place in Paris. So many of the old buildings, many of the streets are being renovated or restored. In fact, just behind me, if you listen very carefully, you can hear there is some restoration work taking place behind me. So all over Paris there is restoration work taking place all over the place.
And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I think he's moving to Tokyo.
So if you come to Paris at the moment, you might be a little disappointed.
Left city and his joint thing.
You might be a little disappointed because many of the old structures are being restored at the moment. And of course you might recall just a few days ago there was a big fire at one of the most famous landmarks in Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral. And we went past Notre Dame 2 nights ago in a boat. So the boat went right past Notre Dame Cathedral. And I must say it was very strange looking at it with its burnt out roof. Very, very strange indeed. If you just joined me, it is Mr. Duncan, live on YouTube on a Thursday, and we are live from Paris. Are there many foreigners, or are they mostly French? Well, the hotel I'm staying at is a mixture of many, many nationalities. So there are people from China, people from Hong Kong, people from parts of Europe like Germany. Also there are people from India as well. I met some lovely Indians last night, some people from India, should I say. Also I met 2 nice ladies, very friendly ladies, who are from Canada, but originally they are actually from China and Malaysia, but now they live in Canada. Bonjour, Mr. Duncan. Oh, bonjour. Paris isn't so quiet as much Wenlock. Helena. Yes, Helena, you are right. I must admit, I was a bit shocked when I first arrived here. I wasn't expecting this to be so busy. Can you hear now? The traffic is getting very busy behind me. Some French drivers are not very patient. They get very angry quickly. I've also noticed that there aren't many rules on the roads here in Paris. People seem to drive any way they want. Hello from He K. Hello He. Where are you watching at the moment? How many euros to the pound? So for every euro, how many pounds do you get? I'm not sure. I think you get, let me think. I think you get more euros than the pound. I might be wrong there. I'm sure someone will correct me. But I have got some euros in my pocket now. I might show you that on Sunday. I'm trying to get my euros out of my pocket. So there we go. So the euros, can you see the euros? So that's what euros look like. So that is 20 euros. And that is, I think that's 50 euros. So there you can see the very strange European money. I can't believe I'm waving my money around on a street corner. Oh, okay then, yes, I was right. I was actually right. Can you believe it? I was right. £1 equals 1.16 euros. Francesca says you are rich. I don't think 90 euros is rich. That's all the money I've brought with me. I haven't bought any other money. I've only got 90 euros in my pocket. And that's it, nothing else. So if I spend, I think it's my mother or my uncle. Bonjour. Bonjour, mon uncle. Mon uncle. Have you ever seen a Jacques Tati film? Jacques Tati. Jacques Tati was a very famous movie maker and also a comedian, and he would do lots of movies that were silent. So everything he did was silent. He did visual comedy. Jacques Tati, a very famous French comedian and also a very clever man, sadly no longer around. So yes, Louis, £1 equals 1.16 euros. That's why I love you, because of the money. Oh, thank you, Li Yu. Trust me, I'm not wealthy. It looks as if I'm wealthy, but I'm just pretending. Trust me. I like you and your lessons too. Do you really? Thank you very much. Hello there. Where are you watching at the moment? Oh, I see. Okay then. I like your lessons. Beck Zojan. Where are you watching at the moment? Please tell me where you're watching, and then I can say hello to you. How do you like the food? Are there any good restaurants? Travels of Ali. Oh, hello to you. Can I just say the food here in Paris is absolutely incredible. We have been to some very nice restaurants. In fact, yesterday we went to the restaurant where I think it was one of Rembrandt's famous pictures was actually painted at the back of the restaurant. And I will show you that on Sunday. I have so many things to show you on Sunday. So many things to show you. So many sights and sounds of Paris. This truly is a very amazing city. So much going on all the time. Hello to Guanau. Hello to Travel. Hello to hello Colombia. Can I say hello to Colombia? Hello Colombia. Hello mate. Hi mate. Bonjour. I am Getfrid from Colombia, or Gerfried. Have you eaten snails in France? I haven't seen anywhere that sells snails. I did ask. Yesterday there was near to Montmartre, there was actually a fish stall selling all sorts of shellfish. But unfortunately, I don't like shellfish. I find the smell very disgusting. So I didn't eat any shellfish yesterday. You should perhaps try Alain Ducasse at the Dorchester. They make the best croissants. Oh, yes, I had some croissants this morning. I had some croissants with chocolate inside. Wow, they are so nice. So yes, this morning I had some lovely chocolate croissants. Croissant, very beautiful. Very tasty, and also not very healthy. If you eat too many, you will get fat. Mr. Duncan, what is the one thing that actually impresses you in Paris? I love the buildings, the architecture, even the average house. Look at the houses behind me. Can you see behind me there? Can you see up there? Look at that beautiful townhouse. That is one of the things that really does impress me about Paris. The beautiful architecture. Look at that. Look at that beautiful sloping roof with the windows. And then you can see along the edge, you can see there is a beautiful balcony going all along the edge. And I think if I lived there, I would spend all day sitting on the balcony watching the people go by. I think I would spend all of my time just sitting watching everything happen around me. Oh yes. So I think one of the most impressive things here in Paris must be the architecture. A lot of the architecture in Paris is now being restored because some of the architecture is 8, maybe 900 years old. So you imagine a 900-year-old building. For example, Notre Dame was actually being restored when it caught fire. So yes, imagine that, 850 years old Notre Dame Cathedral is. and unfortunately it was very badly damaged in a fire just a few days ago. Tonight, here in Paris, or here in France, should I say, President Macron will be making a speech to the nation, and that is in response to all of the problems that have taken place over the past 2 or 3 months, and it is all concerning the protests that have taken place in the centre of Paris and across France in general. So yes, there are a lot of things going on at the moment here. And tonight, President Macron will be making a speech to the nation. He will address the nation. If you address something, it means you talk about something, or maybe you answer questions. You will address something. If you address something, you react to it, and you talk to maybe one person, a group of people, or maybe a whole nation at the same time. So that is happening today. You might see some of that on the news. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I hope you stay safe. Thank you, Neo, for that. Somebody said you must be careful when you're outside because people will rob you. So, yes, it can happen. It can happen. I love the cars behind you. Oh, thank you. There are some very nice cars here. I'm very close to the hotel at the moment, and you can see behind me there is a restaurant. Can you see the restaurant? Oh, it's disappeared now because of the car. But oh, there it is. Yes, can you see there is a lovely French restaurant? There are many restaurants, many places to eat food at. Another thing that there is a lot of: pharmacies, drugstores. There are a lot of drugstores around Paris. It's almost like every street, every single street corner has a pharmacy. They say pharmacy, or le pharmacie, or le pharmacie. So there are many pharmacies everywhere. So I noticed last night when we were on the bus coming back from the big celebration, there are many pharmacies everywhere on every street corner. So as you drive along, you see pharmacy, pharmacy, pharmacy. Lots of pharmacies. I don't know why. Maybe people in Paris get a lot of headaches, so they have to go to the pharmacy in a hurry. I am French, and we have a lot of pharmacies because we are sick a lot. Thank you, Cynthia, for that. Is that true, really? Now, I must admit, I haven't really seen many sick people here. Everyone seems quite healthy, in fact. What hotel are you staying in, Mr. Duncan? Thank you, Jamelia. I'm not sure if I'm going to tell you which hotel I'm staying at, to be honest. So I don't think that's actually a good idea. But I am staying near the centre of Paris. And no, I'm not paying for it. Mr. Steve's company is actually paying for this. Can you believe it? So I'm spending 5 days in Paris, and I'm having a very nice time. Oh, I see. Cynthia is giving me some very interesting information on the live chat. Apparently, I didn't know this. It might be true, it might not, but I think Cynthia is French. Apparently, French people are hypochondriacs. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. So if you are a hypochondriac, it means you always believe that you have an illness, maybe something serious. So you always worry about your health. So that is something I didn't know. But the thing I noticed last night is there are lots of pharmacies. Pharmacies. You see pharmacies all the time as you drive around Paris. Gangadhar says, I like your comedy. My comedy. Or British comedy. Or maybe French comedy. Let me tell you something now. Have you heard of Mr. Bean? Do you know Mr. Bean? Mr. Bean is a famous character on the television in the UK, and across the world. But did you know that Mr. Bean is actually based on Jacques Tati? So Jacques Tati actually is the influence of Mr. Bean. Yes, it's true. So I hope you are all feeling happy today. I'm not sure how many people are watching at the moment because I can't see. Hi guys, I want to learn English. If anyone could give me some assistance. Oh, hello. That looks like Rakesh. Hello Rakesh. Where are you watching? Are you watching in India? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Oh dear, dear, dear. Apparently, according to Irvin, Paris stinks. There is a bit of pollution here. I will be honest with you. Paris is a big city. It's a busy city. So I think there is quite a lot of pollution here, which was a shock to me because I'm not used to it, because I live in the countryside where the air is fresh and the birds sing. But here, as you can hear from all the noise, it is very busy. And the birds do not sing, they the birds cough. You can hear in the morning all of the pigeons coughing because of the pollution. Oh, look at the car behind me. Can you see the car over here? Where there? Let me show you. Oh yes, there it is. See, that's the sort of car that Mr. Steve gets excited about. You can see a very nice Mercedes over there. So Steve likes Mercedes very much. And there you can see one of the cars parked very near to the hotel. Very nice Mercedes-Benz. Lovely. So there are lots of things to see here in Paris. I don't think we're going to have time to see everything. So maybe tomorrow we will go to the Louvre, and maybe to the museum, or maybe to the river. We went on a lovely river cruise 2 nights ago. We went on the river and it was so beautiful. And the Eiffel Tower was all lit with beautiful lights twinkling away. It was quite amazing, in fact. So we had a lovely meal on the Seine. The Seine, or the Seine, is the river that flows through the centre of Paris. Cindy Chan says, enjoy your holiday. I will try to enjoy myself. I've had a super time at the moment. At the moment I am very, very happy with my stay here in Paris because it's been amazing. It really has. It's been incredible. So much gorgeous food, so much wonderful hospitality, and the Parisians are very friendly, very friendly. Yesterday we went to visit Montmartre. Now I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. Montmartre. Is that better? And we went to a little coffee shop on one of the streets, and Mr. Steve ordered coffee in French. I was very impressed. So we sat outside a traditional French restaurant yesterday, drinking coffee, watching the world go by. For a moment I thought I had turned French. I felt very French yesterday. Some very noisy people. There is always something to see here in Paris, always something going on, because there are so many people here. I've also noticed that they have electric buses. So many of the buses here in Paris are actually powered by electricity. And I think the reason why they do that is because they are trying to cut down on the amount of pollution from the traffic. So maybe they are using electric buses, electric bicycles to reduce the levels of pollution in Paris. But as someone mentioned earlier, there is a lot of pollution here in Paris. I won't try to pretend I won't try to pretend that Paris is clean when it comes to the air. So the air quality in Paris isn't very good. In fact, I was very surprised when I first arrived here. Very surprised because it's quite polluted. The air isn't very clean, but I think now I have got used to it. Obviously you are traveling. What is your favorite city or country? I have been to many places around the world, but I think this particular city that I'm in now, I think Paris reminds me of Beijing. I don't know why. So when I was in Beijing, the feeling is very similar. I'm not sure why. Also, there are lots of Chinese people walking around here in Paris. So that might be a reason. So here in Paris, the air is not clean, but it's okay. I don't think it would kill me. But it does remind me of Beijing very much. Oz Clark says, the noise behind you is the Yellow Vest Gang. I don't think so. Can you believe it? I haven't seen any sign of the Gilets Jaunes movement. I haven't seen anything. So there is no sign of any protests anywhere. I haven't seen anything yet. That's Paris. You are really getting a great sense of Paris at the moment. This is it, really. So no, I haven't seen any signs of protesting anywhere. So it seems to have vanished. I think this week, because it's a public holiday in France, I think even the Gilets Jaunes are taking a week off from their protesting. So maybe that's the reason why. Oh, apparently, according to Oz, the protests only take place at the weekend. That's what I thought as well. I thought that. I also thought that the protests were only taking place at the weekend. So yes, that's the reason why I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything because there aren't any protests to see. I think I'm going deaf. I'm going deaf from the car horns. That is something you rarely hear on the roads in England. You never hear people beep, 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 never. Because in England it is very aggressive. So if you sound your horn, beep, beep, in England, you might get beaten up. So you never beep your horn, you never sound your horn in the UK. But here, it seems that people like to use their horn all the time. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because French drivers are a little bit more impatient. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe they are very impatient. Why are there so few people walking? Well, there are people walking over there, but the thing to remember is it's only 4:15 in the afternoon. So later tonight lots of people will come out, they will go to the restaurants to eat. So later the city will be full of people walking around enjoying the evening. And one of the reasons why it will be busy tonight is because it's a beautiful day. It's actually quite a nice day here. Will you still be there on Saturday? The Gilets Jaunes will go out. Oh, I see. Okay, then. Yes, they might be there on Saturday. Okay, thank you very much for telling me that. Merci. Merci beaucoup, as they say here in France. So, yes, the protests take place at the weekend, but I am leaving on Saturday, so we will be going back on Saturday, so I don't think we will see that. We might just see a little bit of smoke. Mr. Duncan, can you make some interviews and make sure if they know you or not? I don't think anyone knows me here. Does anyone know me here? Hello? Any French people? Do you know me? I am Mr. Duncan from YouTube. Does anyone know me? No, is the answer to that question. I have been on now for 56 minutes. 56 minutes already. The hour has gone by very quickly. I hope you've enjoyed this, something very different. I've never done a live stream from the corner of a street in my life. So this feels very strange indeed. Another thing I'm very impressed with here in Paris is their communications. Their telecommunications is very good. You get an amazing, incredible connection on your mobile phone. So you might notice that the signal here on this live stream is very clear and very good. And that's because the telecommunications here in France is amazing. I'm just going through some of the messages. Hello, Mr. Duncan, from Angola, but I'm now in Vietnam. Could you tell me what is your best experience in Paris by the time you are already there, or from? You can say, what is your best experience from the time you arrived in Paris or in France? Well, I think the food. I know it's very obvious, and everyone says that Paris is the place to come if you want to go shopping and eat. But I have been very impressed by the food. I love it. I love it. I had some absolutely wonderful meals yesterday and the day before. We went on a beautiful river cruise. It's all right, my teeth are coming out. We went on a beautiful river cruise along the Seine at night, and it was very romantic, and we had some beautiful food. I even tried the wine as well. Normally I don't drink wine, but I decided to try the wine because you know what they say. There is a great expression: when in Rome, do as the Romans do, which means wherever you are, try something local. Try something local. Paris is a famous French pastry. Oh, I see. Paris Brest. Oh, I haven't tried that. Maybe tonight I will look for some Paris Brest. I hope no one misunderstands that. They might misunderstand what I mean. Hello, can I have some of your Paris Brest? Paris. Oh, hello. Maria says, yes, I am an English teacher. That is true. Maria Giovanni is an English teacher. How your mobile stick? Oh, I see. You mean how did your mobile stay still? My mobile phone is fixed on a tripod. So yes, I don't have to hold my phone because I'm very lazy. Have you had dinner on the cruise? You know how to visit Paris. Oh yes, Louis. Well, everything we did has been arranged by Steve's company. So all the things we've done, all of the beautiful places we've been to, and the places that we've eaten at, have all been arranged by Mr. Steve's company. We went to a beautiful restaurant today. I can't remember the name of it, but it is the place where the macaroon biscuit was first created. So it is the place where the macaroon biscuit was first created. A beautiful restaurant with lots of amazing decoration inside. Macaron, yes, macaron, or as we say in England, macaroon. Hi, Maria. Are you from France? Asks Alamgir. Mr. Duncan, I was in Paris last June and it was good. Oh, really? Tatiana. Hello, Tatiana. I haven't seen you for a long time. on the live chat. Where have you been? I haven't seen you for a very long time. It's nice to see you back again on the live stream. Yes, it's very windy here today, unfortunately. I was hoping to go further outside, but the wind is a little strong today, unfortunately. Christina Jackson is here. Hello, Christina. Hi, Christina. Are you okay? It's nice to see you today. Hello there. Yes, nice to see you. And thank you for your very kind messages, by the way. I saw your messages that you left on my live stream. A big hello to Equis, who is watching in Mexico. A big hello to you from Mr. Duncan. That's me. At the moment, I am talking to you live from Paris. And it's very nice. A very nice city, romantic, also very busy. Sometimes it is very noisy, but there are lots of lovely things to enjoy here as well, including the food, the wine, the bread. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Have you been in the Palais de la République? There is always something interesting going on over there. Oh yes, I've heard of that place. I saw it. I didn't go in there, but I saw it from outside on the boat. Do Parisians speak good English? Or do they try to understand English? There is something that happens in France, and certainly in certain parts of France. Some French people don't like to speak English, and they don't like to hear English being spoken. Not everyone, I'm not saying everyone hates speaking English, but there are some people who do not like speaking English. Excuse me. The pollution is now going into my throat. So because I've been standing here breathing in the traffic fumes for 1 hour, it is actually making me cough a little bit. So I apologize for that. Maybe I need to go to the pharmacy. Well, I don't have to look very hard because there are pharmacies everywhere. Is it the first time that you visited France, Mr. Duncan? Rosa, yes, it's the first time. I've never been to Paris before, ever in my life. And I must say, it is very interesting. Lots of things to see, lots of things to listen to, lots of glorious, gorgeous food to eat as well. So yes, I am enjoying my time here in Paris. By the way, is photography one of your hobbies, Mr. Duncan? I love photography, I love shooting videos, I love making videos, I love editing, I love producing, I love designing the sound, I love editing music, and of course I like presenting in front of the camera. So a lot of my work is behind the camera and also in front of the camera as well. Mr. Duncan, did you visit the Eiffel Tower? We went there on Tuesday. Did you see the live stream? We actually went to the Eiffel Tower on Tuesday. Lee Yu Geen says, what did you eat in France? We have had lots of food, gorgeous food. Today, we went to a lovely restaurant, and for the first time in my life, I actually ate some raw fish. I had some raw tuna. I didn't think I would like it, but can I just tell you now, it was very delicious. It was so nice. It was nice, yes. So I had some raw fish today, and I didn't think I would like it, but I did. It was lovely. So I ate it all. Also, there was a beautiful cake that followed with chocolate and almonds and lots of chocolate sauce. It was absolutely gorgeous. It might be the best chocolate I've tasted in many, many years. How is the weather in Paris? Asks Nathan Law or Nathan Lee. The weather at the moment is quite nice. The sun is trying to come out at the moment. So the sun is coming through the clouds. We were supposed to get lots of rain this week, but we've hardly had any rain at all. And when it has rained, it's rained at night. So actually during the day, the weather has stayed quite nice. So the sky is blue. Let's have a look at the sky. Would you like to see some Paris sky? There it is, look. So there is the Paris sky right now, live for you. So we are now looking at the Parisian sky. And as you can see, it is a bit cloudy, but the sun is trying to break through the clouds. So I hope that answers your question. I can hear some people speaking French. Can you speak French? Shirin says hi, also Nan. Tatiana, my impressions of the people, they look too much or too proud of themselves, maybe because there are many of them, and also so many foreigners in their country. That is a very interesting point. There are many foreigners living here in France, many people from African countries, also Asian countries. So many people from around the world have actually decided to make their home here in Paris, from all around the world, all over the place. Lisa says, comment allez-vous? That's very nice. Is that French? I think it is. Mr. Duncan, please visitors on the streets of Paris. Well, I am on the streets of Paris right now. This is Paris behind me. Definitely. Bonjour, Monsieur Duncan. And also Mr. Steve. Palmyra or Palmyra is here as well. Nice to see you here today. It's Mr. Duncan, English in your ear, live from Paris. If you are wondering where I am at the moment, I am on a street corner. A very busy street corner here in Paris. I'm going to try and move a little bit further over because there are a lot of people nearby smoking cigarettes, and it's going into my mouth. So I think I am actually smoking cigarettes at the moment just by standing here talking to you. Do you have any plans to visit another European country near France? In a few weeks' time, I think it's about 2 months. 2 months from now, we are actually going away again. And once more, it is because of Steve's company. So in about 2 months, we are going somewhere else. And it is also in Europe. But I won't tell you where it is until I'm there. That's the deal. Oh, Jeff is here. I hope you are having fun. I'm having a super duper time here in Paris. It is amazing, and I don't think I've ever been so active, walking around, seeing lots of different places, and it really has been a wonderful experience. Sean Ferry asks, how long will you be in Paris? I will be here till weekend. I'm leaving on Friday afternoon. Apparently, Pearly Princess says smoking cigarettes in public places is banned in India. Some people think that's a good idea, but at the moment lots of people here are standing on the street smoking cigarettes because they can't do it in bars and restaurants. I think it is banned here inside public places. So here in France, you can't smoke in public places. Hi Alamgir and all chatters, I just baked pumpkin pie and then I joined the live chat. Oh, Palmyra. I've never tried pumpkin pie in my life. I've never tried it before. I've never ever tried pumpkin pie. So maybe you can send some to me. Or perhaps I can get some lovely pumpkin pie here in Paris. Who knows? Would you like to have a look around? We're going to show you some more of the sights. It's very busy around here at the moment, so if I suddenly have to move the camera, you will understand why, because it's very busy here at the moment. Paris is a very busy city. It is like New York. It would appear that Paris is also a city that never sleeps. Ooh. So let's move a little bit further over. So this will be either a good thing or a bad thing. It might be amazing or it might be a terrible disaster. So we will see. So we're now outside on the street. And can you see there is another one of those scooters? Can you see the scooter? Let me show you. There are many of these scooters in Paris, and they are free. You can ride them around. Burlop says trottinette. Is that what that is called? A trottinette? Oh, I see. So that's the proper French word, is it? A trottinette. So there you can see it, a little trottinette. Mr. Duncan, please put the picture in Mr. Duncan's Facebook page. Oh, I don't know what that refers to. The live chat is so busy. I can't keep up with the live chat. It is so busy. Oh, I see. I shared your video with my friends on Facebook. Your video is very helpful. Thank you very much for that. Yes, there are electric scooters all around Paris. They are everywhere, and there you can see one. You can see one just behind me there. Electric scooters all around Paris. If you are wondering where Mr. Steve is, he is not here at the moment. He is busy working. Unfortunately, Steve is having to do some work today, but tomorrow we have a free day. All day. So all day we will be free. Excuse me. My raw fish is coming up. I think it might be still alive. Bicycle. Yes, I said that earlier. I said that. I know that bicycle is bicyclette. Le bicyclette. Le bicyclette. Le jaune bicyclette. The yellow bike. Oh, the trottinette is smaller apparently. Apparently the trottinette. So that is not a trottinette apparently. That's too big. That is too big to be a trottinette. Lisa says that scooters are banned here. Well, they are everywhere around Paris. I must admit, you see them everywhere. Ah, there's one. Did you see that? Just as I mentioned the scooter, did you see someone went past? They went past on a scooter. So lots of people are using them. Can you please visit Pakistan, Mr. Duncan? Well, I can't do it today, unfortunately, because I'm in Paris at the moment. Mr. Duncan, I showed your video to my friends and they are very helpful. Thank you, Paradox. That is very kind of you. The scooter looks like it would suit your clothes because of the colour. Yes, I think you're right. Yes, I think it matches my clothes. I think you're right. Yes, that's a very good point. Yes, it does. It looks like it would match. It would go together with my hat and also my shirt because the colours are very similar. There are French people all around me. I am surrounded by French people because I'm in the centre of Paris. And this is English in Your Ear on a Thursday. It is now 25 minutes to 5 on a Thursday. It is Thursday afternoon. Bonjour. It is Thursday afternoon. Did you see that? I think someone wants to be on my television show. Ooh, isn't that nice? That might be the first time that anyone has ever done that. Bonjour. Bonjour from Hong Kong. Hello to Manix Wong. Hello, Manix. We have some people staying here in Paris with us who are from China, and also there are some from Hong Kong as well. Mr. Duncan, do you know the film Les Miserables? It is a French film and also a French story as well, very famous, about people fighting against the tyranny. Tyranny. That's a great word, by the way. Tyranny. It means forceful, something that is very disruptive or very destructive, something that is maybe a form of rule, a type of maybe government that is very brutal. Tyranny. Paris is beautiful. Thank you, Diego. Yes, it is lovely here. Did you see the big bus? So there is one of the buses. So those buses are actually powered by electricity. It's quite amazing, really. Have you tried French toast? I haven't tried French toast here, but this morning for breakfast I had some lovely croissants. Croissants. There, you can learn a French word. So a French word that you can all learn today is croissant. Croissant. It is a type of pastry, and it has a lot of fat contained in it. But the croissant that I had this morning had also little bits of chocolate inside. And as you know, I love chocolate very much. It is easier to say hello than bonjour. Bonjour, everyone. Bonjour, madames. Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, les enfants. Je m'appelle Monsieur Duncan. Hey, how's that? That was very good. Do you have any tea time? I'm not sure about that. I have a lot of coffee. There is another thing that I've noticed here. The coffee in Paris is delicious. Now, normally I don't drink a lot of coffee, but here the coffee is so nice. The coffee is so gorgeous. I can't resist it. So I have actually drunk a lot of coffee since arriving here in Paris. There is another thing that you might not realise about Parisians and people that live in France in general. Meal times are very important to the French. So French people take eating very seriously. And sometimes if you have a meal here in France, the meal can last for many, many hours. So you might sit down to have a meal, but the meal itself will take many, many hours to finish. So you will have some food, then you will talk, maybe you will have some wine, and then you will have some more food, and then you will finish that food and have some more wine, and then you will talk for a little bit more, and then you will talk about lots of different subjects. Maybe you will argue or fight over the meal. Whilst eating, you will discuss politics. Maybe you will talk about things that you don't agree with. So yes, there are many things you could talk about whilst having a meal, but here in France, meal time can take a very long time to finish. Sometimes many hours. How about the coffee? Have you tried the coffee? Yes, I have consumed a lot of coffee over the past 3 days. So this is my 3rd day in Paris, but I feel as if I've been here for about a week because I've done so many things and I've eaten a lot of food. How much is a cup of coffee in Paris? A cup of coffee is around about €5. So that is one thing to tell you about, first of all. So a cup of coffee, a small cup of coffee, not a big cup of coffee, a small cup of coffee will cost about €5 each. So 2 cups of coffee is actually €10, and that's how much it cost yesterday. So we went for a lovely cup of coffee on one of the beautiful streets here in Paris. Coffee au lait, yes, that's what we had, yes. Thank you, Christina. We had coffee au lait. £5, or should I say €5 for each cup. Mr. Duncan, have you ever considered visiting another French city? Thank you, Jose B Info. Jose, yes, last night we were talking to a lovely lady who recommended that we travel to a place called Lyon. And I've heard of Lyon, I've never been there, but apparently Lyon is also a very nice part of France to visit. So I think that maybe in the future I would like to come back to France, but instead of coming to Paris, maybe I could visit somewhere else, another part of France. So I did think about maybe visiting Lyon, because it sounds very nice. Apparently in Lyon it's very rural, but there are some nice small towns and villages to visit around that area. So yes, I might come back to France and I might visit some other parts as well. But I would like to visit Lyon. I'm sure you've heard of it. The coffee is too expensive, says Tatiana. I think so, I agree with you. But then if you go to London, it's the same. So maybe if you have a cup of coffee in London, it might be about £5 just for one cup of coffee. So I think maybe the prices here in Paris are very similar to the prices in London. Buying a coffee in Hong Kong is also very expensive. I imagine it is, yes. If you have coffee, if you go to a cafe or a restaurant in a big city, you might find that you have to pay a lot of money for it. I think so. Okay then. Burlop says if you go to Lyon, you can eat quenelles. Well, we had some quenelles today with our meal. We had chicken. We also had a beautiful salad, and the salad had quenelles with them. I also had some raw fish. I had some raw tuna. This is the sound of Paris. So what you can hear right now is what Paris sounds like normally. Every day of the week, this is what Paris sounds like. Shall we change the view? Mr. Duncan, when did you wake up today? I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning. 8 o'clock. And then I went down for breakfast and I had some croissants and coffee. Very French, don't you think? Okay, I'm moving a little bit further over. This is Mr. Duncan live in Paris at the moment. You are watching a live stream, and it's a very windy day here in Paris, so I hope you excuse me because it's getting very windy here. It is very windy. So the wind is blowing quite strongly, so if my camera suddenly disappears, you know why. I think maybe later we will get a storm, so perhaps later we might actually have a storm, so maybe the weather will become very unsettled and we might get a storm. I can feel it in the air already. I can feel that there might be a storm on the way. because it's getting very windy. And normally when the wind gets strong, that normally means that there is a storm on the way. Mr. Duncan, it is stunning. You have created the possibility to be in Paris live. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. It does take a lot of hard work doing this. Hard work and courage, I think. So there, let me just show you the site so you can have an idea of where we are. I'm just crossing the road. So there it is, a fairly average view. I like the sign on the side of that lorry. It says help. Help. So looking across the road, you can see there is a lovely French restaurant, some beautiful French buildings, and lots and lots of French traffic. There is one thing I have to say about Paris: it is always busy. Even in the morning, even first thing in the morning. You are wearing very thin clothes, Mr. Duncan. Yes, I am. It is actually quite cold now. It felt warm when I came out, but now it feels very cold. So yes, I might catch fever. Oh. Did you see the boy go by? So there is a fairly typical view of life in Paris. People driving, people walking, some people are sitting, talking, having cups of tea. Maybe if I zoom in, you can see the cafe across the road. I will now zoom in with my camera, hopefully. There we go. There we go. A very typical sight around the Paris streets. People sitting outside the restaurant talking about their day, watching people go by. A very typical view here in Paris. Tabac de Ternay. Francesca has a very good idea. I would like to open a shop that will hire scooters to people. Mr. Duncan, why are you in Paris? The reason why I'm in Paris at the moment... Ooh, that's big. Well, that's a very big lorry. The reason why I am in Paris at the moment is because Steve is here on business. So Steve is doing some business here and I have come along as well. So that's the reason why I am in Paris at the moment, is because of Mr. Steve. It's all Steve's fault. You can blame Steve. I hope you are enjoying this live stream. This is Mr. Duncan live on the streets of Paris at the moment on a Thursday afternoon. It is now coming up to 10 minutes away from 5 o'clock here in France. I can't believe I'm saying that. It seems very strange to be standing here on the streets of Paris talking to you live. I have done some very strange things in my life, but I think this might be one of the strangest things I've ever done in my whole life. Standing on the street corner talking to you live on YouTube. Oh, apparently Tabac de Turns means you can buy cigarettes there. So I guess tabac refers to tobacco. Ah, okay then, that's good. Sorry, I just sneezed. And again. I am now sneezing because of the pollution. I think the pollution is getting up my nose. Mr. Duncan, how can you get the internet on the street? Because the internet in France is very good. They have very good telecommunications in Paris. Okay. I'm sure that must be very boring. I will change the view. Okay, another view for you now. We are looking at the pedestrian crossings. So these are the crossings that exist for people to cross the roads on. So if you want to get across the road safely, you use the pedestrian crossing. Apparently Joseph has a friend who looks just like me. I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry that you know someone who looks like me. I'm really sorry about that. I apologise. I'm very sorry. Some people are now crossing the road. So you can see there are people now using the pedestrian crossing. There are not many people walking around at the moment, but there are lots of cars. I have noticed that there are a lot of cars on the road, many taxis as well. Another thing I've noticed is there are many taxis driving around. Lots of limousines. So this particular area I'm in, ooh, that's a nice motorbike. This area I'm in is probably average for the centre of Paris. Oh, there is a police car. Did you see the police car then? Oh dear. I think there was someone in the back of the police car. Did you see that? So I hope you are enjoying this. I hope you are enjoying this. Something different for a Thursday afternoon. Don't forget, I will be back on YouTube on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. I will be back with you on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time at the normal time, and we will be back in England at that point. Oh, my nose is very itchy. How is the traffic compared to London? Well, I don't live in London. I'm not a Londoner. I don't live in London. So I'm not from London, but the traffic in London is about the same. So it's probably very similar to London. But you can see that the traffic sometimes is very heavy. Traffic can be very heavy. So when we say heavy traffic, we mean the traffic is very busy. There is a lot of traffic around. The traffic is very heavy. Ooh, I like that pink. Did you see the pink car then? I like the pink car. I like that car very much. It is very traditionally French, that car. Did you see it? Very nice. I think that car we just saw, the pink car, is actually a Renault. Here it is. Can you see the car? So that car is actually called a Renault. Very old cars as well. Quite old. So I love those cars. I think maybe this is a taxi. So this might actually be a taxi. I think so. I think it might be a taxi. I'm not sure. Can you see the man getting out of the pink car? So I think that might actually be a taxi. Please don't ask me where I am because I'm not actually sure. Oh, hello there. Did you miss me? So I'm going to cross back over the road. This is not easy. This might be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Walking around the streets of Paris, doing a live stream and trying not to drop my camera on the floor. Okay. Let's go back into the corner here where it's a little bit more safe and secure. That's better. Whew. If you've just joined me and you're wondering what you are watching, my name is Mr. Duncan and I teach English on YouTube. Normally I'm in England, but today I'm somewhere different. I am in Paris and I have been on for 1 hour and 37 minutes. So I have been on for a very long time. Stefano says, bye-bye, I must go. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. I had a good time with you live. Thank you, Stefano, for that. You are more than welcome. I thought I would share some of my time with you today. The car that you saw is actually a Citroen. Oh, yes, Citroen. Does that mean lemon? Isn't that lemon in French? Citroen. Please don't lose your way, Mr. Duncan. I will try not to get lost. Don't worry, I won't get lost. I will try my best not to get lost in Paris. I promise. Mr. Duncan, thanks for staying with us instead of visiting Paris. It's okay. I love spending my time with you. That's the reason why I do it. No, Citroen is lemon in France. Oh, I see. Okay, then. Yes, it is a French car. The Citroen 2CV is the model. And there is one just behind me. Can you see it? So can you see just behind me? There it is. So there is a Citroen 2CV. You used to see lots of these around on the road in the 1970s and 1980s. But you don't see them very often anymore. So there it is over there. A Citroen 2CV. And there appears to be lots of them on the road here in Paris. So I have a feeling, I think that maybe they use those particular cars as taxis to move people around the city centre. I think so. Yeah. Citroen is a lemon, but also the car is a Citroen. I see, okay then. But see, I do know some French. I know that the word Citroen can also mean lemon as well. Mr. Duncan, why are you hiding the sort of internet you are using in the street? I'm not hiding it, I am just using the normal mobile phone internet. So this is 4G internet. But the thing is, in Paris, the internet is amazing. It is very strong, very powerful. The signal is very strong. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why the quality is so good. Because Paris has very good telecommunications, as I mentioned earlier. So the communication systems here in Paris are incredible. And that's the reason why you are watching me now with such good quality. So this is live, honestly. Let me just show you now. It is nearly 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock on a Thursday. And I am now in... Helena is getting very angry with me. She says, no, Mr. Duncan, it's not Citroen. It's the police. The police have come for me. Oh my goodness. The police have arrived. They're going to take me away. Telecommunications. Yes, telecommunications is a very long word. It just means the technology that is used to help people communicate with each other, normally electronically. Normally electronically. So telecommunications just refers to electronic communication. Mr. Duncan, is that a Rolex? No, it isn't. This This is not a Rolex. This is a very cheap watch. A lot of police driving around. On a serious note, yesterday in the hotel where I was staying, there were lots of police walking around with guns. Now, I'm not used to it. I must be honest with you. It made me feel a little nervous. So there is one thing that I have noticed around Paris is the fact that there is a lot of security, and a lot of it is very visual, very obvious. You can see it very easily. And there are police patrolling the streets. And yesterday in my hotel, there were lots of police officers around the hotel, and they were all carrying firearms, which is a little worrying. Yes, that's the word, worrying. I think the police are now looking for Mr. Duncan. I think you're right, Lena. Oh, hello, Lena. Oh, hi. How long have you been here? Did you enjoy that moment of time there? Oh. I do wish they'd stop doing that. Very useful, this live stream. I am here studying my things, learning and having fun with you, Mr. Duncan. Thank you again. You are welcome, Wellington. Wellington, yes, you are very welcome. This might be the most unusual live stream I've ever done. And I have done some very strange live streams in my time. So there you just witnessed a very real moment of time as some motorists became very angry with each other. Did you see that behind me? Incredible. So apparently that is how the French communicate with each other. They communicate by using their cars. Beep beep beep, beep beep beep, beep beep beep, beep 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 beep, beep. Beep, 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 beep. Yes, the taxi drivers become very angry. I think so. Well, I suppose time is money as far as they are concerned. So if they get stuck somewhere, it means they can't drive around and pick up customers. So maybe that's the reason why they become very angry. Maybe that is the reason why. Time to Win Hour says hello. I'm new here. Hello, Time to Win Hour. Burlop says, oh, it is for a joke. Oh, really? So they're just having fun. Oh, okay. Excuse me. I am now breathing in lots of pollution. And it is killing me slowly. Hello, I am Joey. Hello, Joey. Nice to see you, Joey. Time to win. Greetings from Mexico, Mr. Duncan. Hello to you as well. Hello to Mexico. I know I have a lot of people watching in Mexico. Oh, hello, Blue Thunder is here as well. Hello, Blue Thunder. Nice to say hello to you. I am now live in the centre of Paris. I've been here for over 1 hour and 40 minutes. Wow. I need some water. I think I need some water. I will tell you something. I'm not a very good advertisement for the air quality in Paris. Ah, dear. Is France nice? Yes, France is very nice. Mr. Duncan, I prefer to hear the sound of your garden. Ah, yes, I think you are right there. Thank you, Andrea. Yes, I think the sound of the birds in my garden tweeting is much nicer than the sounds of people beep, 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 bibbing their horns. Mr. Duncan, I've been following you since 2011. Videos like "You Can Do It," oh I see, are very memorable. I have to say, I think that I did. Oh, I did it. Thank you again. Thank you, Wellington. Wellington, thank you very much for that, Wellington. That's very kind of you. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Like that, you mean? Of course you can do it. If you believe it, you can do it. Keep your fluids up to stay healthy. Yes, I think I need a drink of water. Because when I left the hotel room, I brought everything with me, but I forgot to bring some water. I forgot. Thank you, Shirin. Shirin says, I can do it. And of course you can. If you believe it, you can do it. That's what I say anyway. I will be going soon. Do the French understand English? Quite often, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes the French don't like to hear English being spoken. Not everyone, but some French people do not like to hear English being spoken. They don't like it. Having said that, quite a lot of French people feel very happy when they hear an English person try to use French. They feel very excited by it. Beatrice says, Mr. Duncan, staying in Paris, is it very expensive? I would say yes, but it depends on where you stay. So some hotels are quite reasonable with their pricing. Some hotels are very expensive. There are some hotels near the Champs-Élysées. They are very expensive, maybe over £1,000 for one night. So one night, £1,000. Not here where I'm staying. The hotel I'm staying at is not £1,000 a night. But on the Champs-Élysées, there are some hotels that are very expensive. And nearby, there are some very expensive hotels. Some of the hotels over there are often stayed at by celebrities, film stars and singers. Musicians will stay at some of the hotels that are over there. I think your hotel is not far away from where you are. Yes, my hotel is very nearby because I didn't want to walk too far, just in case I get robbed. So thank you, Louis, for that. Take care of your throat, Mr. Duncan. I want to see more of your lessons. Thank you, Johnny L. Hello, Johnny. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. And it's Mr. Duncan live on YouTube. The police are back. I think the police have come back. They've found me. There is so much traffic now. As we head towards 5:10, the traffic is now getting very... I think that was a fire engine. So I think that was a fire engine, not a police car. Of course, I am quite happy. Good, I'm very glad to hear that. What about this evening? What are your plans tonight? I'm not quite sure what we're doing tonight. I think we're going somewhere tonight for a meal, but I can't remember where. Any tips, any trips for tourists if they can't speak the French language. There are many ways of organising the tours. So maybe if you stay at a hotel, sometimes the hotels will do tours for you. So they will organise the tours. Now my advice is, if you are coming to a place for the first time, always go on an organised tour if it's your first time. So for example, if you come to Paris for the first time, you've never been here before, I would strongly advise that you go on an organised tour. Don't do it yourself, because you might get into lots of difficulty. So that's just my advice. Tatiana says, I went to Paris alone. Really? Did you go to Paris alone? I'm very impressed. Wow, well done. Are you from England or Australia? Do you mean me? I'm from England. I'm an Englishman. I live in England. I speak English as my first language. But at the moment, I'm not. I'm in Paris. So I'm talking to you at the moment. I'm broadcasting live from a street corner in Paris. Alam Gia asks, what time is it there now? It is now 10 past 5. 5 minutes past 10. Sorry, 10 minutes past 5. I'm getting excited now. Can you tell? There it is. So there is the time. 10 past 5. 10 past 5 on a Thursday afternoon. And now it's getting very busy outside, because now a lot of people are starting to come home. Some people are working at the moment, but also it is worth remembering that here in France there is a big public holiday taking place at the moment. So there is a large public holiday taking place, which means that many French people are actually having time off work at the moment. And that is one of the reasons why many of the public places are quite busy this week. Defence is a very interesting area of Paris. It is a very modern city. It's quite modern here, I will be honest with you. Some parts of Paris are very modern. There is a very modern part of Paris with lots of skyscrapers and very impressive looking modern architecture. And then if you go to another part of Paris, you will see lots of ancient buildings, lots of old architecture. So it depends whereabouts in Paris you go. So in one part of Paris you will see lots of modern architecture, skyscrapers, buildings that are just made of glass, and they look quite incredible. But then if you go over to another part of Paris, you will see many traditional buildings, many of the older buildings. For example, the Eiffel Tower, very, very famous. Many people know the Eiffel Tower. Also, you will see lots of old buildings like Notre Dame Cathedral, which was in the news recently after a serious fire broke out there. I heard there are very rude people there, so they can beat you very badly. Thank you, Lena. Well, you will find that everywhere, in all cities around the world. If you go to any city in the world, you will always find someone who might do bad things to you. So it doesn't matter where you are, if it's Paris or London or New York or Los Angeles, you will always find someone who might do you harm. I think it's quite normal. But so far, most of the French people I've met have been very polite and very nice. I heard there. Oh, sorry, I'm repeating the same question. Sorry about that. The Wall Street Journal is it English or American? The Wall Street Journal is actually American. It's an American publication. So the Wall Street Journal normally talks about American financial situations, the stock markets in the United States, and quite often they will discuss or write about the financial situations of other countries. But mainly the Wall Street Journal is concerned with American or USA financial situations and economics as well. Hello from Vietnam. Hello, Vietnam. Nice to see you, Vietnam. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know I have a lot of people watching in Vietnam. What is the language there? People speak French here. A lot of people speak the French language, and many refuse to speak any other language at all. They will only speak French. Of course, I'm not French, I'm English. So I'm an Englishman in Paris right now. How long will you stay in Paris? How long will you stay in Paris? I will be here for another 2 days. So I have been here for 3 days. This is my third day. And then I will be here for 2 more days. Theo, oh hello, Theo Roulet. Yes, it's so cool. It's so cool. You are in Paris. You are at Paris. I am right here now in the center of Paris, one of the busiest areas of Paris, and many people are now starting to come home from work, and you will hear lots of traffic. You will see lots of buses and taxis. You might hear some police cars as well. Oh, apparently Christina. Hello, Christina. I did not know. I did not know that you are learning French. I didn't realize that. Are you really learning French? So Christina says, I have been learning French for 8 years. So how are you doing with your French? Is it coming along well? Are you doing well with your French studying? I hope so. I really do. Mr. Duncan, your predecessors were from France. Thank you, Palmyra. Yes, it's true. My distant relatives on my father's side are actually French. So yes, I have some French blood. I do. So I am part French. Can you believe that? Maria is going now. Bye, Mr. Duncan. Bye, everyone. I must go. See you later, Maria. Don't forget, you can catch this live stream again. So if you miss any of it, you can catch it again. But you're a little bit French, as you have said before. Yes, I am. I have some French. So maybe if I did a DNA test, if I had a DNA test, then maybe there would be a lot of French in my genetic makeup. I have to improve my English, but I have a good teacher like you. Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to hear that. Well, I think learning any language takes a long time. Some people ask, Mr. Duncan, how long does it take to learn English? And my answer is always the same. It depends how much time and effort you put into it. So the more you put your time into it, the more effort you put in, the quicker it is to learn. So that's it, really. It seems very simple, doesn't it? But it's true. How many words do you know in French? I know some words. I would not say that I am fluent. I am not fluent in French, definitely. Tomorrow, will you do your live video? Asks Olga. I'm not sure, and the reason why I'm not sure is because I don't know what we're doing. Tomorrow we have a free day. So Steve is doing work today. Unfortunately, he is having to give an important speech. But tomorrow we will be free all day. So I don't know where we will be tomorrow. So maybe not. Palmyra says, c'est la vie, such is life. C'est la vie, what will be, c'est la vie. Do the British need visa permission to fly from another country? No, we are very lucky, because if you fly from the United Kingdom, the UK, if you fly from there, quite often you don't need a visa, but you do need a passport. So you do need a passport, but you don't need a visa for many countries around the world. So I suppose because I'm born in England and in the UK, then I suppose I am lucky because I can travel to many countries around the world without a visa. I hope you are enjoying your trip, says Optimistic. Thank you, Optimistic. Yes, I'm enjoying my trip here. I'm having the most amazing time here in Paris. I'm also enjoying the most amazing food as well. Some of the most incredible food. Last night, I am going to tell you something now that is very shocking. I was going to save this for Sunday, but I'm going to tell you something now that is very shocking. Please don't be too shocked. We went to a big presentation last night. Many people there, about 1,000 people were at this presentation. A big award ceremony. And afterwards, there was a meal. And one of the dishes that was served was veal. Veal. A very controversial food because it is the baby calf, the very baby, small infant cow. And they normally feed the calf milk. They give it a lot of dairy food, a lot of milk. They make it drink a lot of milk. And that makes the meat turn very pale and white. And quite often the meat is very tender and succulent. So last night on the menu there was veal. And I thought I would try it. I thought I would try to eat a little bit of veal. Mr. Steve refused. Mr. Steve would not eat the veal. But I tried a little bit of veal. Veal is the name. Veal. It is the baby cow. Very young cow. And what they do, they give it lots of milk. They feed it milk, cream and milk. And then it makes the meat go very creamy, very white. But in many countries, veal is now banned. So a lot of people feel very strongly about veal. I'm sure you will find a lot of it being talked about on the internet. Veal. V-E-A-L. Is Mr. Steve watching you live? Not at the moment, unfortunately. Sadly, Mr. Steve is in a big office with lots of people and he's giving a speech. Louis says veal. Yes, it is disgusting. I am French and I am against eating veal. Now, I've never eaten veal in my life, but there was a little piece of veal, not big. It wasn't a whole calf. There was a little bit, a little piece. So I ate it, I tried it, it was okay. But the taste was very odd. It didn't taste like meat. And Mr. Steve refused to eat it. He wouldn't eat it at all. So I tried it. It was all right, but it wasn't nice. I don't think I will ever eat veal again. I will not eat veal ever again. So I think it's safe to say that I won't eat veal ever again. Please do not jump off my question, asks Goob. I asked you, are you using the hotspot of your mobile phone for the sake of the internet? No, I'm actually using my 4G connection. So what you're watching is the connection of my mobile phone provider. So this isn't Wi-Fi. You're not watching Wi-Fi at the moment. This is actually the 4G connection. Because the connection here in Paris is incredible. I am very impressed by the mobile phone network here in Paris. There are some amazing phone networks here. And the one I'm using at the moment has very, very good internet connection. So yes, the 4G connection here is incredible. It is so fast. And I know for a fact, I know that you can see me very clearly now because I can see on my phone that the signal is full. So now I have a full signal on my mobile phone, which is very hard to get in the UK. Quite often you don't get that anywhere in the UK. What about testing frogs or snails? Do you mean tasting? Tasting. I haven't tasted frogs or snails, to be honest. I haven't. So no, I haven't tried that yet. So you eat lamb, but you don't eat veal. This is a very long argument, and I know some people will disagree with me and some people will agree. But I suppose the veal, the way they raise the calf is very different from how they raise lambs. So lambs are normally raised naturally, but when they create veal, they force the calves to consume lots of milk and lots of cream, things that change the way the calf grows. So that's the difference. And also the calf is very young, still very young. So it is a very controversial thing. I could talk about it for the rest of the day. I suppose I could talk about veal for the rest of the day. Have you been up the Eiffel Tower? Not yet. We went on Tuesday to have a look at the Eiffel Tower, but there was a huge long queue of people. There was a line of people that went on forever and ever. So no, we didn't go up the Eiffel Tower because there was too many people there. So many people were waiting to go up. So no, we didn't know it. We didn't do it. I do eat vegetables. I don't eat much meat. I must admit, I do like to eat meat, but I don't eat a lot of it. I do get the feeling that here in France, people eat a lot of meat. I have noticed that already. We have a snail restaurant in our town. We have a snail restaurant in our town. Sorry. Ooh. We have a snail restaurant in our town, says Julie. I've never eaten snails, and maybe I never will. But I haven't seen anywhere in France that sells snails yet. Wow, the live chat is very busy. I will leave also because we are going to the Forest Sanatorium with my daughter. That is a very powerful motorbike behind me. Wow, amazing. So yes, I will go to the wow. Togliatti town. Do you know the 4x4 car? Yes, I do, Olga. Yes, a lot of people like to drive 4x4 cars. They feel a lot safer in them. Ah, yes, Happy Luta says it sounds similar to the way they feed geese for foie gras. Yes, you are right, yes. So they force feed. So they force feed the animal to eat a certain type of food to change the meat. Did you see that motorbike? Wow, that was a very nice motorbike. I do like motorbikes, I must admit. Whenever I see a motorbike, I always get very excited. The free street markets are really great to visit. Thank you, Tatiana. Yes, there are a lot of market areas. Yesterday, I know I mentioned this earlier, but yesterday I went to Montmartre, which is near the centre of Paris, very high up. And there are lots of people there selling selling different types of food. There was also people sketching. So there were artists sitting around in the street, painting and drawing pictures. So yes, it was a very nice atmosphere. We went there yesterday. We also went to Montmartre Church, which is a beautiful church. And when you go inside, they say that you must be completely silent, which is very hard for me. I'm not very good at staying silent, to be honest. So we went into the church, and it was very quiet. And there was a man in the church who was telling people to be quiet. So sometimes a person would say something, and he would shout, "Silence! Silence!" And that's what he would say. So that was yesterday. Very interesting. It is very interesting. As you are speaking, you are judging the things in Paris, the good and bad things, and I think on the whole, you are right. Thank you, Lewis, for that. Yes, but I'm often critical of England, so I don't just say, oh, everything is nice. I also say some things are not nice. So wherever you go in the world, nothing is completely perfect, and that includes here in Paris. Hello and bonjour to Heba. Hello, Heba. Bonjour from downtown Paris. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm actually standing here in Paris talking to you live. It's incredible. Sacré-Cœur. Yes, the Sacré-Cœur is awesome. Thank you, Tatiana, for that. Montmartre. Yes, Montmartre means the mountain of martyrs during one of the periods of Christian persecution. Yes, a lot of people died during that particular time. Thank you, Manix. That's very kind of you. It is totally a different culture over there. I must admit, there are some similarities. There are some things here that are similar, and there are some things that are very different. But the one thing that I'm very impressed by here in Paris has to be the food. I can't really argue with that. The food is amazing. The one thing I've noticed that I'm not very keen on is the traffic and the pollution. So I would say that here it is a little more polluted. It's probably very similar to London, but I don't live in London. I live in the countryside. Guys, do you know this symbol? What symbol? I don't know which symbol you mean. I think the difference from Arabic countries, oh, I see. I think that the difference is from Arabic cultures. He should be talking. Oh, I see. Do you mean me? I'm sure there are many differences between Arabic cultures and Western cultures, or maybe French culture or British culture. But really, as you travel around the world, and I have been to many countries around the world, you will find two things. You will find similarities and differences. So no matter where you go in the world, you will always see similarities and differences. It happens everywhere, no matter where you go. Wherever you go in the world, you will always find similarities and differences. There is lamb that is called agneau de lait, which is fed with only milk in France. Oh, I see, really? Oh, I see. So that's very similar to the way in which veal is produced. I think so. Porcina. Hello, Porcina. Have you ever been to Iran? Have you ever been to Iran? No, I haven't. I've never been there. I have never been to Iran ever in my life. Oh, here is another 2CV. Watch. I just saw another 2CV. There it is. Can you see the car? I love that car so much. I think that is a wonderful type of car. I think, do you remember there was a James Bond film with one of those cars in it? Do you remember? I can't remember which James Bond film it was, but there was a James Bond film with one of those cars that you just saw. I think Mr. Steve is on his way back. I just saw a message from Steve saying, Mr. Duncan, I'm coming back. So Steve might be back here soon. So don't worry. Steve will be here. He will be here soon. I think he's on his way back right now on the bus. So we might get to see Mr. Steve live as he arrives back here. Are you excited? I hope so. Hello to Lanzarote, Fatma. Hello, Fatma Ben. Hello, Fatma. How are you today? Watching in Lanzarote, another very nice part of the world. I have always wanted to go to Lanzarote. He couldn't wait to get back. Oh, do you mean Steve? Yes, I think Steve is very excited. Louis says, do you know religions created cultures? Religion and culture create Western culture. Yes, I would agree with you. I would never ever disagree with that. I know over the years that many of the different periods that every country has gone through, and that includes England and Great Britain and Europe, they have all gone through different periods, different transitions. For example, France and Germany used to be one big nation. Did you know that? Although that's going back a very long way. Do you know Pune, Mumbai, Gaurav or Jarav? No, I don't know that place. I don't know it. There are some parts of the world that I don't know about. Christina says, in the cemetery of Père Lachaise, you will find Oscar Wilde's grave and also Jim Morrison's grave. What an interesting collection of different characters. Very interesting. So you have Oscar Wilde and also Jim Morrison and also Maria Callas. One of the greatest opera voices ever, Maria Callas. If you have never heard Maria Callas sing, find a recording of her today and listen to the most amazing human sound that you will ever hear in your life. And also Edith Piaf as well. Yes, another great singer. I agree with you. Oh, wow. Christina says, I love Maria Callas. Yes. Oh, dear. The voice of an angel. And even that is an understatement. It's very interesting how many famous people are buried here in Paris or in France. That's very, very interesting. Did you know that Charlie Chaplin, I think Charlie Chaplin lived in France and then Switzerland. So I think Charlie Chaplin also lived in France for a while. But I think in his final years, I think Chaplin lived in Switzerland. I think that's where he died. Did you know that Charlie Chaplin died on Christmas Day? Christmas Day in 1977. I am full of all this useless information. Where are you? Where am I? I'm in Paris at the moment, standing on a street corner. Have you met any people in the street that follow you on YouTube? Not here. I'm not sure how many people watch me in France. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 1,000. But so far, I haven't met anyone. So far, no one. We are expecting Mr. Steve to arrive soon. It looks like he might be on his way back here. So I'm hoping Mr. Steve will be arriving on some form of transport, maybe a bus or a taxi. So Mr. Steve is coming back. Yeah, I'm quite excited, to be honest. All I know is there are lots of famous architectures in France. Thank you, Alamgir. Yes, there are so there are so many styles of architecture here. Even just behind me, I love these apartments. Can you see behind me? I would probably like one day maybe to retire and live in one of these apartments. And then in the morning when I have my breakfast, I can have a cup of tea in the morning and I can look out of my window and I can watch the traffic go by. I can look from my balcony and I can watch the people walking. I can watch the traffic going by. I could just sit there and enjoy the sight. So that sounds pretty good to me. I am staying quite close to the centre of Paris, just near, I'm trying to think where I'm near. I'm not very far away from the Arc de Triomphe. If you know the Arc de Triomphe, it is a very famous landmark, a big arch, an arch of triumph. Ooh, did you like that? It almost sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Mr. Steve will be back soon. Yes, I'm hoping so. This live stream has been going on for so long. I can't believe I've been standing here now for over 2 hours. 2 hours and 23 minutes I've been on this live stream. So I hope you are enjoying this. Mr. Duncan, Mr. Duncan, I can see you are living in a big city. Yes, it looks like it, doesn't it? I think so. But normally I live in the countryside. If I had a choice between living here and living in the countryside, I think I would always prefer to live in the countryside because it's much quieter, much more relaxing. Here, it's a little bit too hectic. So it's very difficult to decide. I do like watching people walk around and do their daily things, but also I like the peace and quiet. So it's very hard to get the right thing, the right combination, because I like peaceful, but I also like busy. The problem is busy is noisy, peaceful is relaxing. Can you please say hello to the taxi driver? I might say hello to the taxi driver in a minute. There is a taxi driver just behind me cleaning his car. Look. He is very busy cleaning his car. He wants to make it look very clean and tidy for his next client. So there, you can see there is a limousine driver. And that's actually very similar to the car that brought us to the hotel the other day. We were picked up at the hotel by this... Sorry, we were picked up at the airport. We were picked up at the airport by a car very similar to that. There are lots of big black limousines driving around Paris. Tuan Wu says, I regret that I have to say goodbye, Mr. Duncan. See you on the next live stream. Okay, Tuan Wu, see you again. And zaijian. Unless, of course, you're in Vietnam. Optimistic says, it was very nice to watch you in France. And you share stuff about the French. Thank you. And last but not least, bye for now and catch you at another place. Okay, Optimistic. You will see me next time on Sunday. Maybe tomorrow or Sunday. Oh, I think Mr. Steve is back. Is that Mr. Steve? Is Mr. Steve back? It might be. I think Mr. Steve has arrived. Is it? Is it Mr. Steve? Come on, we need to know. I want to see if Mr. Steve has arrived. Oh. 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 I don't think it's Mr. Steve. Sorry about that. Hello, Owl. How are you today? Owl says, I like you, man. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Fatima says, I have a question. How to find a receptionist job there? Is it easy? I'm not really sure about the situation in France, but I know that there are many people here who are from other countries, many people from African countries, and they are working here doing many different types of work, many different jobs. So I think, yes, I would say, if you want my opinion, don't forget I don't live in France, I'm not French, but I would say that there are many opportunities for people who are willing to come here and work hard. That's all I can say, really. That's all I can say. I thought that was Mr. Steve's coach, but it wasn't. It wasn't Mr. Steve. I'm going to cry. Mufia is going now. I have to go now because I am at work. I am going to see you now. I'm going to my house. Oh, I see. I am leaving my work 45 minutes from you now. Going to see you now, going to my house. I'm not quite sure what that is referring to. I don't know. Have you seen the yellow vests? No, there are no yellow vests at the moment. No gilets jaunes to be seen because fortunately they only come out at the weekend. So there are no yellow vests at the moment. No protests taking place on the streets, although tonight President Macron is going to make a very big announcement tonight to the nation of France. He is going to make a statement concerning the problems and the protests that have been taking place on the streets of Paris and also across France as well. So there will be a statement which I'm sure will be repeated and also reported on your local news. Gilets jaunes, yes, the yellow vests. Yellow vests. Are you not originally French, Mr. Duncan? Thank you, Matrix. My family, if you go back many years, my family on my father's side is actually French. So on my father's side, if you follow my father's family back, you will end up in this country. You will end up here in France because I do have some distant relatives who are French. India is awesome, man. I met some Indians last night. I was eating at a table with some people from India, and also today I was having lunch with some Indians. There is a helicopter flying over my head. I don't know why. What is it doing? Come on, Mr. Steve, where are you? I'm waiting for Mr. Steve to come back. But he isn't here yet. Come on, Mr. Steve, come back. I don't have any plans to visit India at the moment. No, I don't have any plans to visit India. Although we will be doing some travelling in a few weeks. I think 2 months from now, Mr. Steve and myself, we are going somewhere else because Mr. Steve has to go to another country to do some work. Maybe it is Mr. Steve in that helicopter. Maybe it is, you never know. No, still no Mr. Steve. I'm very sorry about that. It is getting very busy in this area because lots of coaches, lots of buses are now parking nearby, and lots of people are coming off the buses. So I think Mr. Steve is going to be back here soon. I'm getting quite excited now, to be honest, because I think Mr. Steve might be here. Is it Mr. Steve? Is it? No, not yet. You will see Mr. Steve soon. He is the most amazing person I have ever met. There are so many buses. You can see now there is a coach. Can you see the coach going by? So Mr. Steve will be here soon, and he will be on one of these buses, one of these coaches. I hope so anyway. Live from Paris, it's Mr. Duncan with English in your ear. Hey dude, I like your smile. Oh, thank you very much for that. Thank you, that's very kind of you to say so. I always like to smile. Smile, and the world will smile with you. There is a big sound pollution there. Yes, there is. There is a lot of traffic around me at the moment. I am surrounded by cars and buses, taxis, all sorts of things. Can you tell us about your family, Mr. Duncan? My family live in England. I was raised in England. I speak English as my first language. I used to be able to speak French many years ago. I was very good at French at school. I always came first in all of the exams. But then, of course, I didn't use the language. And you know what they say? If you don't use it, you will lose it. Mr. Steve has on his very cool Ray-Bans. Yes, did you see Steve on Tuesday? We went to the Eiffel Tower on Tuesday, and Steve was wearing his sunglasses. Mr. Steve was pretending to be a security guard. So yes, on Sunday, Steve was pretending to be a security guard. Not a very good one. But that's what we did on Tuesday, and it is available on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see us if you want to see us very close, nearby to the Eiffel Tower, you can find the video on my YouTube channel. Pedro Belmont is here. Oh my goodness, you are live. Yes, I am live. We are now live. It is 10 minutes to 6 o'clock here in France. It feels very strange saying that. This is Mr. Duncan in France. Doesn't sound the same really, does it? Could you please come more frequently to France? You will be very welcome here. Thank you, Burlop. That is very kind of you. I feel very relaxed here. I don't normally stand outside in the street with people around me, but here in Paris, I feel very comfortable doing it. So I don't feel worried, I don't feel scared. Pedro says, Duncan, do you need my humble services? I think I will be all right, but thank you very much for asking, Pedro. Louis is here as well on the live chat today, watching in France. Mr. Duncan, you look like you are in your late 20s, and your Dennis the Menace t-shirt is great. I wish to have one. Thank you, Ying Hung. All I can say is I wish I was in my late 20s. But sadly, no more. I'm not 20 anymore. Mr. Duncan, have you been to Taiwan? Asks Kevin Lee. I have never been to Taiwan, although I do have a friend. I have a very good friend who lives and works in Taiwan, and his name is Benjamin Wu. Hello, Benjamin Wu, if you are watching. Hi there. It's me. Yes, really, me. So I do know Taiwan. I am Taiwanese, but now I live in the Philippines and I am watching the live chat. I was sitting next to some people from the Philippines last night. I was chatting to them and I was telling them, I was saying I had heard on the news that in the Philippines there had been a very serious earthquake. So I'm not sure if that's true, but I did hear that there was an earthquake in the Philippines. Sorry if I seem distracted. Every time I see a bus, I think it might be Steve, you see, returning. It feels very strange to be on my own. Very strange to be by myself. I am now all alone in Paris. I feel like I'm in a Home Alone movie. I'm Macaulay Culkin and I'm stranded all alone in Paris. What shall I do? No, Mr. Steve. I think the French people are very curious about what you are doing. Yes, I have received some very strange looks from people. People look at me twice. This is what they do. They look at me like that. I will do it again. So they look and then they look again. So this is what they do. Let me show you. So the first time they look, they see me, but then they can't believe what they're looking at, so they look again. And we call that double take. So a double take is when you look at something twice. So you look, and then you look again. You call it double take. Double take. I don't think anyone wants my body. Trust me, no one wants my body. Blue Thunder says it's very weird. Very weird. I'm not sure why people are giving me such nice compliments today. I feel very flattered. Mr. Bean, that's what I thought when I saw your gestures. Thank you, Guradav. Fatima is now going. I hope to meet you again soon. That's okay. Thank you very much. I love your compliments. Thank you. It's very kind of you. How old are you? Me? How old am I? I will tell you how old I am. I am older than you. Oh, come on, Mr. Steve. Where are you? I'm getting very cold here. The sun has gone in, and now I'm very cold. I'm all alone in Paris. I'm abandoned. I'm a les miserables. I'm feeling very miserable at the moment. I feel like I should be singing a very sad song. Guarav says, I am 26. Yes, I am older than you. I'm older than 26. Definitely. Maybe twice as old as you. Don't worry, my teacher. You will be all right. Don't worry. Someone will take care of you. Maybe if I sit here long enough, maybe someone will take me in to their home and treat me as their own son. How lovely. I'm like a little street urchin, lost and alone. Mr. Duncan, you look like Mr. Bean. Owl says, so you are 50. No, I'm not 50. I'm not 50. But I am older than 50. So there. Nobody will believe me, but I am. I'm over 50. Trust me. Hello, boss, says Mohammed Hussein. Hello to you. Nice to see you here on the live chat. This is Mr. Duncan in Paris. Live in Paris at the moment. You are very weird, Mr. Duncan, because you gave us your age in a cemetery. A lot of people are always asking your age and they should see all your lessons. Yes, well, this is the thing I always say about my lessons. In my lessons, there are always little clues, little things that you might not realize are important, but in fact they are very important things. So in one of my lessons, I was standing next to a tombstone, and on the tombstone was my name and my date of birth and the year. So these little things you will find in my lessons. As you watch my lessons, you will find lots of little clues, little things. Mr. Duncan, I bet you don't smoke because you don't look like you are more than 50. I don't smoke. I have never smoked in my life. So I don't smoke cigarettes. I have never smoked ever in my life. And to be honest, I don't really drink. I don't drink alcohol either. Sometimes. Sometimes I feel very old, especially first thing in the morning when I first wake up. Everything is so painful. My back hurts, my legs hurt, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurts, my brain hurts. Jeff says he looks 30. I wish I was 30. I really do wish I was 30 again. No, I'm not 30. Much older than that. Almost twice as old as that. You are forever young, Mr. Duncan. Thank you very much, Christina. I didn't think today I would be standing here on a Parisian street corner talking about my age. I've already watched this lesson. Actually, my favourite lesson is with Mr. Lomax, and he was angry with you because you look so immature. Mr. Lomax is one of my friends, and sometimes he gets very angry with me. You are right, yes. I am from Egypt. Do you know Mohamed Salah? Yes, I know Mo Salah. He is a famous footballer. Oh, it's very windy here. It's suddenly gone very windy, and so the dust is going up my nose. We are going soon. I think I will go soon because it looks as if Mr. Steve is not coming back yet. So I think I will end this live stream soon because I have been on now for 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That's what Victor Meldrew would say. Thank you, Jeff, for that. Yes, Steve will be like Victor Meldrew. Victor Meldrew is actually a character from a TV show about an old man who is very grumpy and very unhappy all the time. All the time he is very unhappy. Victor Meldrew. I don't believe it. And that's what he says quite often. It sounds as if Mr. Steve isn't coming back. No, I think maybe he's left me here. I think maybe he's gone back to England. This is how Mr. Steve wants to get rid of me. So he's going to leave me here now. I have to find someone else. I am all alone. I am all alone in Paris. No one wants me. If you can take me in tonight to your house and give me some supper and a warm drink, I would be very, very grateful. Have you ever lived in Egypt? I've never lived in Egypt ever in my life. No, I haven't. I haven't lived in Egypt ever. Please don't go, Mr. Duncan. Mr. Duncan, you must take care of yourself. Yes, I always try to take care of myself, always. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. I am Maria and I am from Buenos Aires. Maria Azar. Hello, Maria Azar. I've never seen you before on the live stream. Is it your first time here? Oh, it's getting very windy here. I think there is a storm coming. I really do feel as if there is a storm on the way. I think maybe tonight we will get a lot of wind and rain. Yes, I have heard of Afghanistan, definitely. Mr. Duncan, you can go to any pub and you can wait there. Oh, I see. Mr. Steve is watching the Twinks. No, Mr. Steve doesn't like Twinks. Trust me. Ying Huang says the big cities are not as safe as the lovely small Shropshire town. Please look after yourself. I will be very careful here. On a serious note, I will be careful. There are some naughty people here in Paris, just like everywhere else around the world. There are always bad people that might do something bad. Please don't go away, man. Well, I might go in a moment because I've been here for 2.5 hours. Wave to the guy behind you. He doesn't look very happy, does he? No, I think he's coming over here. No. I'm not looking at him, just in case he comes over and beats me up. I know one thing, it's very cold here now. I've been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I've been here for nearly 3 hours. Can you believe it? Please go away, Mr. Duncan. You are becoming tired. 2 hours here is much time. I've been here for nearly 3 hours. I've never done a live stream in the street for 3 hours, ever. I never have. I don't know what Mr. Steve is doing. I'm hoping he will come back soon, because he just sent a message. He sent a message about 20 minutes ago, and he said, I am on my way back. I am coming back. And I know that Steve isn't very far away from here. He's just around the corner. He's actually at a place on the Champs-Élysées. So I think Mr. Steve will be back soon. So yes, I am waiting for Mr. Steve to arrive because his bus will come back this way. So I'm hoping that I will see Mr. Steve. So if you are wondering why I'm here, I'm actually waiting. I'm waiting for Mr. Steve to come back. Is this the longest lesson ever? No, I think I've done a lot of long lessons, but never outside. So I think this might be the longest live stream I've ever done outside, without a break. It is actually turning quite cold now. I am now surrounded by people. There are people everywhere. But the only problem is, it's becoming very windy. What is going on? Wow. The next scheduled live stream will be on Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time. But we might have one tomorrow. We might do one tomorrow. I'm not sure where we will be tomorrow, because tomorrow we have a free day, but I don't know where we're going. So tomorrow we might do a live stream, but we will definitely be back on Sunday. We will be back in the UK on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. It doesn't look as if Mr. Steve is coming back yet. So I am going to end the live stream, and then I will go back into the warmth and have a nice cup of coffee. So I think I'm going to have a cup of coffee now, because I'm freezing cold. It's so cold out here. So this is Mr. Duncan in Paris. It feels very strange saying that. This is Mr. Duncan in Paris. Can you believe it? I'm in Paris at the moment. Paris, France, saying thank you very much for watching me today. Oh, it looks as if Steve has actually come back. Mr. Steve has arrived back. I don't believe it. So Mr. Steve has actually arrived back. So I am now going, definitely, because Steve has arrived and I didn't see him arrive. I don't know how I managed that. Mr. Steve is back. So I'm going now to see if Mr. Steve is back, because he said he is back. So he must be back. Very cold. Mr. Duncan, you are wearing very light clothes. Yes, I am freezing. It's gone very cold here. So Steve is back and now I am going. This is Mr. Duncan once again saying that I am live for a few more seconds in Paris, France, saying thanks for watching me for the past 3 hours. I can't believe I've been standing here on the streets of Paris for 3 hours, but it's true. And of course I will see you on Sunday, 2 p.m. UK time. I will be back in England, back in lovely, lovely sunny England. You know what's coming next. I know what you're thinking. Mr. Duncan, please don't go. Please don't leave us. Please don't say goodbye. Sadly, I have to say goodbye. But don't cry, because I will be back very soon on YouTube. And of course, you know what's coming next. Do you know what's coming next? I suppose I could say au revoir. Or I could also say ta-ta for now.